The apartment is silent, except for the hum of the refrigerator. My engagement ring glints under the kitchen light. It feels like a lie now, a memory wearing metal. I scroll through our photos, each smile sharper than glass. My mother's number appears on the screen, but I don't answer. She probably wants to check on me. She always calls when something breaks, especially when she's the one holding the hammer. I drive to my sister's condo before I can change my mind. Her place smells like white wine and victory. She opens the door with a smirk. "Lila, you look terrible," she says, almost delighted. "Why did you tell him those things?" Her eyes sparkle with false innocence. "Daniel deserved the truth." "There is no truth in what you said." She shrugs, sipping her drink. "Maybe you just don't remember. People like you forget easily." Anger burns through my chest. "You destroyed my relationship." She leans closer, smiling too wide. "Please, don't act surprised. You've always been the family problem." The words hit harder than she expects. I think back to high school, when my boyfriend stopped calling. He met my family once, and that was enough. College, the internship that vanished after Mom's friendly chat. Every loss I blamed on myself. Now the puzzle fits too perfectly. "You and Mom planned this," I whisper. Her smile falters for just a second. "You're paranoid, Lila. Maybe you should get help." She closes the door, leaving me in the hallway. My hands shake, but my mind clears. This isn't the first time. This is a pattern. Back home, I open an old notebook. I write down every strange coincidence I can remember. Every lost job, every broken friendship, every sudden silence. The list grows until the page is full. My phone buzzes again. Mom this time. I let it ring. The truth is starting to breathe. It's ugly, but it's real. I search online for someone who can help. The name, Margaret Cole, defamation attorney, stands out. I dial before I lose courage. A calm voice answers. "Cole Law Office, how can I help you?" "My family's been spreading lies about me," I say. "It's destroying my life." She listens quietly. "Come in tomorrow," she replies. "We'll see what can be proven." When I hang up, I exhale for the first time all day. Outside, the city hums, unaware of my small war. The ring still sits on the counter, glittering like a wound. I turn off the lights and whisper to the dark. They wanted me silent. I glance at the notebook again. But now I'm writing everything down. The silence feels different now. Not hollow. Not helpless. It feels like the beginning of a fight I should have started years ago. Margaret's office smells like paper and quiet determination. She gestures for me to sit, eyes sharp behind her glasses. "Start from the beginning," she says. I tell her everything. The call, the lies, the look on Blair's face when I confronted her. She writes as I speak, her pen moving without pause. When I finish, she leans back, thoughtful. "This isn't random, it's coordinated." Her certainty steadies me. "Do you have proof?" she asks. "Not yet," I admit. "Then we'll build it." She pulls out a legal pad and starts a timeline. Every rumor, every lost opportunity, every person involved. We spend hours connecting dots I never saw before. Emails that came from anonymous sources. References that mysteriously disappeared. Men who left without explanation after meeting my family. She circles each event in red. This pattern repeats too perfectly to be coincidence. My stomach twists, half fear, half relief. Someone finally sees what I see. "Why would they do this?" I whisper. Margaret looks up, her tone calm but firm. "Control, image, maybe envy. It's almost always about power." She hands me a checklist. "Gather receipts, photos, messages. Anything that proves where you were when they said otherwise." For the first time in weeks, I have a plan. That night, I dig through my drawers for evidence. Conference badges. Old emails. Photos with timestamps. Each item feels like a lifeline. At 2 a.m., I find a message from my college ex. He wrote, "Your sister told me you relapsed. I couldn't handle it." The words hit like a blade. I forward it to Margaret with shaking hands. Her reply comes before dawn. "Good, this helps establish the pattern." The next morning, I meet her again. She's already printed charts, timelines, and lists of potential witnesses. "Look here," she says, pointing at the board. Every relationship ended within 2 weeks of family contact. I trace the red lines with my finger. It's my life reduced to cause and effect. Margaret's tone softens. "They've been undermining you for years, Lila." I nod, the reality sinking deeper. She makes calls to past clients and colleagues. Some refuse to talk. Others, surprisingly, agree. "Yes," one says over the speakerphone. "Your mother warned me not to hire you, said you had breakdowns." Margaret writes it down. Defamation, interference, character sabotage. It's all here. By evening, we have a folder an inch thick. Margaret locks it in her cabinet. Tomorrow, we start the legal groundwork. I sit in silence, watching the city lights through her window. Margaret turns to me. "You have something they never expected." "What's that?" I ask. "Proof and patience." As I drive home, the weight on my chest shifts. Not gone, but lighter. The lies have shape now, evidence, names, and dates. And for the first time, I know how to fight back. Not with tears. Not with anger. With truth. 3 days later, Margaret spreads documents across her desk. Colored tabs mark names, dates, and fabricated stories. "This isn't just defamation," she says. "It's systematic manipulation." Her calm voice cuts through my nerves. "So what do we do?" I ask. She glances up, steady and composed. "We expose them, but smartly, not with rage, with precision." Her plan unfolds like strategy, not revenge. We'll gather more witnesses, record conversations, and build evidence. I write everything down, every instruction exact. "Your sister has an engagement party next week," she asks. "Yes, at the Westbridge Hotel. Everyone will be there." "Perfect," she says. That's where we present the truth. The words feel like a dare. That night, Aunt Claire calls after years of silence. "I heard what happened," she says quietly. "You're not the first one they've hurt." Her voice cracks with old pain. "They did the same to your cousin, years ago." I grip the phone tighter. "Can you prove it?" "I kept the letters," she whispers. "I'll bring them tomorrow." When we meet, she hands me a folder of yellowed paper. Fake reports. Forged signatures. The same pattern, just older ink. Margaret examines them under a lamp. "This strengthens your case," she says. "They've done this before." By midnight, my apartment becomes a command post. Sticky notes line the walls. Names, dates, motives. Margaret's paralegal, Jonah, joins the effort remotely. He tracks IP addresses, linking anonymous emails to my mother's home. Each new detail snaps into place like a puzzle I wish never existed. We draft letters for a cease and desist order. Margaret insists we'll give them one chance to stop. If they don't, we take it to court. But I'm not satisfied with silence. "They need to admit it publicly," I say. "They destroyed my reputation in front of everyone. I want them to lose the same way they made me lose." Margaret studies me for a long moment. "Then you'll need absolute proof, captured firsthand." She slides a small recorder across the desk. "Get them to talk, calmly. Let them incriminate themselves." I tuck it into my purse, heart pounding. The next day, I call my sister. Her voice drips with false concern. "Lila, you sound upset." "Let's talk," I say evenly. "Just us, no drama." She agrees too easily. I hang up and stare at the recorder in my hand. Margaret's words echo in my mind. Stay calm, let the truth reveal itself. For years, I begged for their approval. Now I'm preparing to expose them. The thought steadies me. This time, they won't rewrite the story. This time, I'll be the one holding the pen. I set the recorder beside my keys, ready for tomorrow. My voice steady, my fear gone. For the first time, I'm not just surviving their lies. I'm planning their ending. I park beneath the low trees and sit for a moment to steady my hands. The recorder sits warm in my purse like a small, dangerous heart. I walk to the door and press the bell with careful calm. My sister opens before I can knock. She smiles wide, the smile that practiced cruelty often wears. Lila, how thoughtful, she says, stepping back. I follow her into the sunroom, where Mom waters orchids. The house smells familiar and false. I place my bag on the coffee table, as if by accident. Conversation begins light, the sort that hides barbs. I ask simple questions about Daniel and the canceled plans. They answer with rehearsed sorrow and practiced hands. Blair leans forward and speaks of protecting family. Mom adds details that match the forged emails exactly. I keep my face still and my voice small. The recorder in my purse collects every soft betrayal. When Blair boasts about crafting the messages, she laughs. Her words are clearer than any forged document could be. Mom adds that she did what any mother would. I say nothing until the minutes feel like pounds. Then I stand and place the printed email on the table. Blair's laughter dies like a candle in wind. You sent this, I say simply. Her face flickers between fury and panic. She accuses me of tampering with evidence, reflexive and loud. I leave before the argument escalates, the recorder heavy with proof. Margaret meets me at the car, expression composed and sharp. We listen together in her office, the room hushed as the tape plays. Her eyes narrow at the incriminating admissions. This is enough to force a public reckoning, she says. She arranges everything with the precision of a surgeon. The engagement party becomes the stage we choose. On the day, I arrive early dressed in calm, not aggression. Security at the door recognizes me from the guest list. Inside, chandeliers scatter light over well-dressed faces. Blair glides through the room, radiant and predatory. Then my father appears at my side like a quiet anchor. He says nothing, only squeezes my hand with a tremor. The moment Margaret planned arrives with soft applause. My mother moves first, a useless performance of concern. She tells the manager a false tale about a restraining order. The guard steps forward with a radio and a question. My breath shortens, but my voice remains steady. Margaret shows her bar card and a stack of prepared documents. She hands copies to a retired judge at the table. The judge's brow deepens as he scans the pages. A hush falls, heavier than any social awkwardness. I ask for the room and the projection system. Slides advance with timestamps, IP logs, and emails highlighted. Each proof lands like a bell tolling in the ballroom. Guests who once whispered now lean forward and listen. Blair tries to panic and to cast doubt, but the record is clear. Thomas reads and goes pale as the narrative collapses. The ring leaves his finger and clatters onto the table. He stands and walks away, leaving silence in his wake. My mother's face crumples and then hardens to shame. Blair storms out, mascara streaking like battlefield maps. Apologies ripple through the crowd like late rainfall. My father reaches for me and his voice breaks. I believed them, he says, ashamed and small. I let him hold my arm, while strangers offer quiet support. What they took from me begins to return, slowly and sure. The ballroom empties slowly, leaving echoes of broken pride. Margaret gathers the folders with measured grace. Her calm steadies the tremor in my hands. You did it, she says, voice low but firm. I can't speak yet. My throat feels made of glass. Across the room, my mother sits slumped in a velvet chair. Blair is gone, her glass of champagne abandoned mid-table. The judge approaches with deliberate steps and quiet authority. He nods once to Margaret, then to me. The evidence is overwhelming, he says. Whatever they tried to protect is gone now. I thank him, though the words taste unreal. Outside, night presses cool air against my skin. My father walks beside me without speaking. At the car, he stops and exhales shakily. I failed you, he says simply. I saw what I wanted to see. For years, those words would have shattered me. Tonight they sound like repair. He looks older, but his eyes are clear. Come home for dinner tomorrow, he adds. I nod, unable to stop the tears this time. Back in my apartment, silence feels like healing, not fear. The documents sit stacked neatly on my desk. Their signatures, their lies, their downfall, all on paper now. Margaret calls the next morning with updates. Both have signed the cease and desist, she reports. They're leaving town for a while. Relief doesn't feel like victory, only peace. Aunt Claire visits that evening with a pie and a hug. Your grandfather would have been proud, she says softly. He hated lies more than anything. We laugh, the sound awkward and new. Later, I hang the legal order in a frame above my desk. A reminder of truth, not revenge. The phone buzzes with messages from people I thought lost. Clients apologizing, friends reaching out. Now they see you, Margaret texts. Yes, I reply, and I finally see myself. Weeks pass, then months. My company blooms from whispers into headlines. Each event I plan feels like reclaiming a piece of myself. I hire new assistants, young and bright with hope. I teach them to document everything, always. The habit of proof has become protection, not paranoia. My father joins me for coffee every Sunday. He brings old photos and quieter smiles. Mom and Blair remain silent shadows in another city. Their absence no longer feels like loss. It feels like air. One afternoon, Margaret stops by with paperwork. You're calmer now, she says. Because I'm not fighting ghosts anymore, I answer. She smiles, signing the final partnership papers. Our names share the letterhead now, justice and design entwined. That night, I host a dinner for the people who stayed. Aunt Claire raises her glass, eyes bright. To Lila, she says. To the truth that never needed permission. The laughter that follows feels real, weightless. When I fall asleep later, there are no echoes, no doubt. Only the quiet certainty that the war is over. And this time I won. 6 months pass, and peace no longer feels foreign. Morning light spills through my new office windows. The nameplate on the door reads, Coal and Heart Events. It still feels strange to see my name there. Clients arrive with trust, instead of suspicion now. My calendar is full, but my heart isn't frantic. Margaret walks in carrying coffee and quiet satisfaction. You're smiling again, she says, handing me a cup. It's not practice anymore, I reply. The city hums outside, steady and kind. Each phone call brings opportunity, not fear. The staff laugh in the next room, easy and unguarded. Their joy feels like proof that healing multiplies. My father visits often, bringing flowers from his garden. He stopped apologizing and started listening instead. Sometimes we talk about Mom and Blair. Their names don't sting anymore, just echo faintly. Last I heard, they moved to another coast. No lawsuits, no statements, just silence. The quiet is mercy for all of us. I frame the newspaper clipping from the charity gala. It shows me and Margaret receiving a community award. Under the photo, the headline reads, Truth Restored. It feels too dramatic, but part of it fits. The world has a way of rewriting when you keep standing. I start mentoring a student named Jenna from the scholarship fund. She reminds me of who I was before fear set in. Curious, nervous, but determined to create something meaningful. Never let anyone narrate your story for you, I tell her. She smiles, scribbling it down like gospel. At night, I host dinners filled with laughter and light. Real laughter, not the brittle kind that hides pain. Friends crowd my apartment, stories overlapping like music. The framed cease and desist order still hangs above my desk. Not as a threat, but as a promise to myself. Proof that truth, once spoken, doesn't die quietly. The past sits behind me, catalogued and closed. But its lessons breathe through everything I build. Control can masquerade as love. Silence can feel like peace until you find your voice. One evening, I stand on my balcony watching the city lights. The skyline glows with the same energy that once terrified me. Now it feels like belonging. My phone buzzes with a message from Daniel. Just 4 words, "I'm glad you're happy." I stare at it for a moment, then delete it. Some closures don't need replies. I turn back to my laptop, planning a new event. An anniversary for a couple married 40 years. They asked for a theme about resilience and grace. I know exactly how to deliver that. The playlist includes soft piano and one quiet vow: that the truth will always outlast the noise. As the city settles into night, I close my eyes. The world feels vast again, but no longer lonely. The story isn't about what they took from me anymore. It's about what I finally became when they couldn't control me. The evening air smells like rain and new beginnings. I stand by the window, city lights trembling in reflection. The silence around me isn't empty anymore. It's full of peace, soft and earned. The ghosts of their lies have finally gone quiet. The fear that once lived under my skin has dissolved. I think of the girl who begged to be believed. She's gone now, replaced by someone steady. The truth didn't fix everything, but it freed me. It built walls that no rumor can break again. Dad's laughter echoes from the hallway, warm and real. Margaret's text glows on my phone, "Proud of you." I smile, not as defense but as habit of joy. The skyline outside burns gold before fading to blue. I whisper a thank you to the dark, to myself. No revenge, no bitterness, only release. Every scar has turned into a signature of survival. The story they wrote about me is gone. This one, mine, ends with light, not pain. The truth stands quiet, unshaken enough.